No, that's a very important point. And you rightly said that the relationship between India and Australia was not very, was not very optimal, if you may say, as much as we as Indian diaspora would like to, who are living in Australia. Now, there are a number of factors behind this, and I see personally, the way policies has been driven from Indian government side and some previous Australian government side, they may not be so encouraging to bring the relationship between Australia and India at that level. Now, since Narendra Modi ji has I think there is a lot of improvement and a lot of confidence being built in India and Australia relationship. And the tweet you mentioned, it's very interesting. This morning I was sitting with Rory Metcalf and discussing all these compared to that of in America. It is really, really encouraging. Now, at the same time, it makes us a little bit sad because we cannot accommodate everyone inside the venue. But that doesn't decrease the level of excitement that every Indian has in Australia. So lots of preparation are going on at the moment. Right now is very high time. All the performers, all the politicians, eminent personalities, all the community members and community organizers, they all are very excited. Right now, preparation are at full swing.
Well, everybody was earlier comparing it with MSG, but right now, everybody is just thinking it's going to be another bigger event than what we saw at Madison Square Garden. Baleshi, if you see India, Australia, these two economies recently have been trying very
number of think tanks, including Rory Metcalf himself, that Australian government had to take another stand. And recently, as we saw, Australian government entered into a pact with India to provide uranium. And this relationship is only going in positive direction right now. Of course, Modi ji has done a number of measures to build the confidence, not only at government-to-government relationships, but also...
One more thing I would like to know from you. Right now talking to you, I can recall his speech at the Madison Square Garden and the way he was connecting with everyone there. He was talking that हमारा Mars का जो mission है वो कितने economical way में complete हुआ. इतना एक Hollywood movie का costing बहुत ज़्यादा होती है, इसे 7 गुना या फिर 8 गुना. I want to know that how interesting it is going to be with Indian Australian diaspora, because what we saw in US was magnanimous, but I think what people are expecting from Sydney event is another double magnanimous event, so to say. How's the excitement in the diaspora of India there in Australia?
जिस तरह से मोदी जी कनेक्ट करते हैं जनता से और जब बात करते हैं, हालांकि उसका कोई स्केल तो नहीं होता, मापदंड तो नहीं होता जिसपे आप नापिएगा और उसको डबल करिएगा, लेकिन ये भरोसा आपको हमको सभी को है कि जो भी इस इवेंट से जुड़ेगा, जो भी उस वेन्यू के अंदर होगा या बाहर होगा, जो स्क्रीन पे दिखेगा, they would feel the connection with Modi ji, because he is the leader who connects with everyone, whether he is speaking to one individual person or he is speaking to a crowd of thousands, and that's the magic that Modi ji creates.
Now, hard to pep up their bilateral relations, be it trade, be it economics between both of these countries, and also smooth bilateral relations, because it's very important. And as we've seen it in a very long in just 5 months of time, that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been very, very diplomatically sound in front of the world. Now, recently there was a tweet from Rory Metcalf where he was talking about the tabling of India-Australia Nuclear Cooperation agreement that was tabled in the Parliament of Australia. Tell us something more about that. You are listening to Niti Central. I'm Preksha with you. PM Narendra Modi will be addressing another mammoth gathering at a public event in Australia, Sydney, on 17th November 2013. The enthusiasm is no less than one we saw at Madison Square Garden, and who know, it will be much more grand and enthusiastic in its own unique way. More than 21,000 NRIs are eagerly waiting, and the preparations are going on in full swing. PM Modi will also be addressing the joint sitting of the Australian Parliament, Federal Parliament, which was historic in its own way. And you can know everything about it on pmvisit.org.au for all the details and about the event also. Now it gives me immense pleasure to introduce Mr. Balesh Thankar, who is the president of Overseas Friends of BJP. He's a journalist, he's a poet, he's an IT geek, and I got this information from his Twitter handle. Welcome, Balesh ji.
Issues, and it's our pleasure that this gentleman has been very vocal and very open about discussing these issues, and he has been critical about the policies that previous Australian governments have been taking when it comes to India, especially nuclear power or uranium. So he has been criticizing Australian government's policy in terms of doing discrimination against India when it comes to providing uranium, and it is because of.
Namaskar, Prakash ji.
Baleshi, first of all, the event of 17th November, which is in its own term, is coming out to be very, very big, because I just read it on Twitter that Australian Business Council will also welcome Namo in Sydney. So tell us about what all preparations are going on.
See, preparations, and as you said, enthusiasm is really, really at very high level. And as you rightly said, that even though we didn't want to compare the Sydney event with the one in Madison Square, but it is very obvious that everyone, including organizers, sometimes do compare. Now, please allow me to correct. We got 27,000 registrations in a matter of few days, which is looking at the 1/10 size of the Indian diaspora.